4.7, the Goldilocks zone of the Richter scale, just enough to feel, not enough to do damage. That's a nice way of addressing that. Which did shock and awe some people yesterday. Good morning, everyone from Gemini as well. Thank you, Gemini, for all your comments. Really appreciate those on our YouTube channel as well. So, yeah, let's take a look at that then on this, the Mondia Daily, before we welcome Jason and Lee onto the screen later on in the show. Growing concerns. They're the growers. Showers, I don't know. Yes, showing his produce at local markets, of course, Jason is doing, and we'll find out. We'll be reminded of his schedule of markets where the wonderful Quinta Esencial produce can be found, purchased, and then taken home and cooked with and eaten. Another great reason to be here in Portugal, in Europe, where fresh food still is fresh and could be described as food, basically. Okay, let's go to the Portugal resident this morning for the coverage of the 4.7 Goldilocks earthquake, as John is referring to it. Thank you, John, for your company last night on the mastermind session. That's the third Monday of every month. And thank you to Nuno as well. I'll bring this reporting onto the screen so you can see it from the Portugal resident, Michael Brujo, here. 4.7 earthquake rocks Lisbon. The whole building was shaking, a Portuguese influencer said in a video just minutes after the earthquake. An earthquake measuring 4.7 on the Richter scale rocked the Portuguese capital of Lisbon and nearby areas this Monday afternoon. Who was Richter? With an epicenter around 14 kilometers southwest of Sejal. Oh, I didn't hear from Bobby as well. I must check in with him and see how he's doing and if he felt it. And if you're a builder, can you imagine? He's building Herdad de Mayo, of course, and the new project will be happening in Sejal, Vista Bay. It must be very nerve-wracking when you're a building owner, developer, and then they start moving like that. So this was on the south bank of the Tagus, the Teja River. The earthquake was recorded at 124. Trying to put it on the Richter scale again. So that's the thing, isn't it? When it's in the day like that, many more people feel it, and it was felt, said the Portuguese Sea and Atmosphere Institute, IPMA, particularly in the Lisbon metropolitan area. The institute added that a new communique with up-to-date information and macro-seismic data should be issued soon. Where's my macro-seismic data? Here it is from IPMA. Initially, the Euro-Mediterranean Seismological Centre, anyone in the earthquake business, I suppose, becomes very excited on such days, indicated that the quake had a magnitude of 5 on the Richter scale. In a warning message to the public sent at 1:55 p.m., the National Emergency and Civil Protection Authority, the ANEPC, these are websites worth bookmarking, aren't they? The ANEPC and IPMA. They announced that the National Meteorological Institute confirmed an earthquake at 1:24 with an epicenter in the sea near Fonte de Telha, on the one of my favorite beaches in Portugal, on the Setúbal Peninsula, with an estimated magnitude of 4.7 on the Richter scale. No damage has been reported so far. Stay calm. And it's all right for you to say, isn't it, on a memo or a fax? Stay calm, it's fine. The whole building's shaking, but don't worry. And keep an eye out for possible aftershocks. If justified, we will issue new information, said ANEPC. Many people have taken to social media to share what they thought when they felt the earthquake. Portuguese influencer, not influenza, which I believe we were going to be doing, of course, the Munson and the Geezer show at 7 last night. Tony's not very well. If you've got Tony on WhatsApp, send him a message and send him some love and a virtual hug. Don't get anywhere near him, of course, because he's definitely got a bad lurgy, that boy. Man up, come on, get on, sort yourself out, Tony Portuguese. Yes, that reminds me, we'll be talking about toxic masculinity when we next speak, and that'll be next Monday now. So get well soon, mate. Ash melhoras to you, the Portugueser. Take it easy. Hope you're feeling better this morning. Portuguese actress. Oh no, that's someone else. Ana Garcia Martins, the influencer, also known as Pipoca Mais Doce, the sweeter. What's that? The sweeter popcorn. Reported a mega earthquake. Things. See, if you're an influencer, you probably can't say, yeah, it's just a little shake, nothing, no big deal. If you're an influencer, it's going to be like, mega earthquake, things were falling over, things fell here, the whole building was shaking, my heart is racing, she shared in a video posted just a few minutes after the earthquake. Portuguese actress Sofia Arruda described a very strange experience feeling the earthquake in her home. The worst part is that I did not have a reaction. I remained seated as I had lunch. The water in the coffee machine seemed like it was possessed. The actress said in an Instagram story, I couldn't move. I was glued to the ground. I didn't go outside, nothing. I remained seated, she added. She's poor lass is in shock. Bruno Lager, that's a great name, isn't it, for a football guy? Lager, head coach of Benfica, was also asked about his reaction to the earthquake at a pre-game press conference ahead of the club's Tuesday Champions League match against Monaco. Ooh, big night then tonight. Benfica playing Monaco. I bet that old geezer will be down at the club again, watching that football match. Oh, they open on a Tuesday. They're open tomorrow. The men's shed meet there tomorrow night. Anyway, Bruno said, I was walking down the stairs and a glass door started shaking. So I told Lemos, the press officer, that we have to fix the door. Only when I arrived here did I realize what happened, Lager told reporters. And Lisbon Mayor Carlos Moedas is scheduled to address the media at 4 p.m., providing an official assessment of the situation. Yes, I mean, he must live with that in the back of his mind all the time. His press conference was initially planned for 4:30 p.m., but was moved forward, not by the earthquake, by the people who plan his diary. There you go. Thank you, Michael Brujo, in the Portugal resident. Big question is, did you feel the earthquake yesterday? Earthquake, just another day in California. Pa! Pa! All right, fair enough. You seasoned earthquakians, or whatever you call yourself. And lovely to see you, Aviva. I must say again, thank you for making the journey to San Martino de Porto at the weekend. See you next year or next time. Bon dia, and that idea is great. I think the key word, after talking to James yesterday, the key word I think that we would like to weave into such a gathering online, where we're talking about some of the more challenging aspects of moving to Portugal, must include the word kindness. It's a kind space, isn't it? A kind space that we're going to be creating. Bon dia, Cullen Gumpers from a damp Belfast from Deagle. Good morning, mate. Starting to get warm. Last cold day, 4 degrees. Will be 9 degrees tomorrow and 11 by the weekend. Almost t-shirts and shorts weather, and days getting longer daily. Fantastic. I was on the phone to my son in Lisboa about that time. He did not comment to feeling it at all. Okay, so not everybody felt that then. Maybe it was only the influencers and the actresses who needed something to talk about on social media. Bon dia, Malta. Am I being cynical? Andairo. He was Bairandi. He's like Prince. He's changed his name to the enigmatic sounding Andairo. You sound like a boy band singer, actually, Andairo. Good morning to you. Bon dia, Malta, from a milder Vairo this morning. And did you know Marmite has a very long shelf life? Yes, I think some was found in the Egyptian tombs, wasn't it, of Tutankhamun? 18 months, and it was still good. 18 months till the vitamin content becomes degraded, but still edible. Oh, anyone see Costa on the news yesterday? Big summit in France with European leaders. Well, he's the president. I wrote about him last night, actually. My column this week, in who doesn't like a column first thing in the morning, Portugal resident, and that will be Trump triggering and transformation. I do like an alliteration, and that's what you've got this week. If the editor will print it, indeed, if she likes it. Or deems it appropriate to do so. So that's what I've submitted anyway. Trump triggering and transformation, the gift that Trump might be giving us. Now that's a bit bitter and hard pill for some to swallow, I think, at the moment. But I mean it earnestly, and I hope she does print it. And I'd look forward to hearing what you think about that. Anyone see Kosh on the news yesterday? No, didn't see him. But yes, he is the president of the European Council. He was embroiled in a corruption allegation, wasn't he, and difficulty. That's why he stepped down, because it became untenable, or he didn't want that bad smell hanging in the air. Time to move on. Where do you move on to when you've been involved in a bit of a corruption ding-dong? Well, you become the president of the European Council, which he's doing now. And I didn't realize, but doing a little bit of research about the Portuguese governmental response to Donald Trump. He has a reputation, apparently, for being very optimistic, and annoyingly so, according to the president, Marcelo Antonio Costa, being very optimistic. I suppose you've got to be, haven't you, when you're in politics? It could probably really get a man down, being involved in all the toing and froing of politics. Right, there you go. That's the earthquake coverage there. Music to come from Ron Rogers to close the show today. We've got Jason, of course, at Quintessential, and Lee in just a moment. Now, Not been doing so much on language and culture and well-being. We'll do our best to put that right now. And I'm going to play you something that Philomena sent me, which is a poem, a Portuguese poem. It's a modern one. It's not Camões or Pessoa. It is a young lad who is putting some beautiful Portuguese words together. And I want to use this as a test. I'll play it after I've shown you a really nice well-being meme that you might appreciate. You might not. But I think it will prove to you that if you think, oh, this language is so difficult, when am I ever going to learn it? This is one of those moments where I think you'll realize you learn more than you know. And if you don't, I'm really sorry, because that's going to be really depressing if after saying all of that, you still think it's very difficult. But I think you can congratulate yourself after this video of nearly 3 minutes. It's a great Portuguese poem. See how much of it you can understand. So get yourself in a position to do that, if you will. And before we do that, I saw this, which I thought was great, although it doesn't appear to be on my screen now. Let me see if I can find this rather good meme of somebody talking about how they loved Europe. Oh, here we go. And the basically the better sort of health perspective that we have here in Europe. This is from somebody called Carnivore Aurelius. I'm thinking a stoic paleo fan. Huge fan of all the strange European quirks. I think that's a bit rude. It's just how we live. And there's a classic picture of a beer-bellied Frenchman, possibly. That looks like a French TV combo, doesn't it? Young, attractive woman and a grey-haired old geezer there with the pot belly. That's the classic presentation combo on French TV, isn't it? Pretty young woman and old guy, grey-haired guy. Refusing. So these are European quirks. Refusing to use air conditioning. I refuse. You can take your air conditioning. I will not be using that. Room temperature water. That's such a quirky thing, isn't it? Unrefrigerated eggs. Again, quirky? Us? It's you that's quirky, sticking them in the fridge. Walking everywhere. Well, blow me down. Why would you do that? Extremely long lunches for no reason. That's an assumption. There is a great reason, and that's because it's blooming fantastic to do. What better reason do you need? Kissing on the cheek. Another one of your European quirks. So far, I'm scoring a full marks on this. Refusing to use AC, yes, unless it gets really unbearable. Room temperature water, well, yeah. Unrefrigerated eggs, yes, and we don't wash them either. We don't wash the shells. Walking everywhere as much as possible. Extremely long lunches for no reason, oh, yes. Kissing on the cheek, oh, yes. Taking all of August off work. Chance to be a fine thing, but yes, I thoroughly approve. And not cooking with seed oils. I don't think we think, it's not Portuguese or European people think seed oils or not seed oils today. And I put a question to you. Do you think olive oil is a seed oil or not? What did I miss? So let's help Carnivore Aurelius then. And we've got Lee waiting to join us in a couple of minutes. But before we go there, I want to share a Portuguese poem with you. And Lee will translate this for us. He'll give us a full Mancunian English version of the... Oh, no, I'm getting a gesture from him. I don't know what that means. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Come back, Lee. All right. Some Portuguese poetry for you. How much of this can you understand, Lee?
A pronúncia algarvia é castiça e é vadia.